Welcome to Yerushalmi, Shekalim, Daf Beis. It's always funny that we're on the second block because Yerushalmi starts with Aleph. Just a couple of things. First of all, our learning for the entire Masechta is for Tzipora Bat Yaakov, Shali Eshbu, a very, very good friend of mine's mother, who is a big tzaddikus and tremendous person, and Be'ez Hashem, we're learning in her memory. I just want to say, I mentioned last time that in the Yerushalmi print from the Ozohar print, which we're using now, so there are many blot. I think it's about somewhere in the 60s. But in the actual print, in the what's it called? In the Bavli print, there's actually 22 pages, and in the Yerushalmi print of Bromberg, the original Vilna print, there's actually 36. So as I've said many times, the blot are different, and one should be aware of that. That's why Yerushalmi is always called Perek, Aleph, Halacha, Aleph, Beis, Gimel, etc. Okay, this is probably one of the most famous Yerushalmi lines in all of Shekalim, which we'll get to today, Mitzvah. And I just want to go through a couple of quick ramazim though first, and that is that when we give the Machzah shekel, so we give a half shekel, which is we want to commemorate 3 half shekel coins, which is with a half shekel. For many people, we use a $50. But we also give 3. Why do we give 3? So there's a lot of ramazim to 3, and one of them is actually based on our Gemara over here, and there's a lot to be said. But the Gemara says, Rav Chag b'shem Rav Shmuel bar Nachman, this is on Beis on Beis, says Shalosh Trumos number of a parsha hazos. There were 3 donations: Trumos Adanim, Trumos Shekalim, and Trumos Mishkan. Be'ez Hashem, hopefully we'll explain that more tomorrow because I want to focus on something else. But I just also want to say my first thing out of my 2 things that I want to talk about today is specifically Amar Ula Kulam Kachas Sabah. The half shekel donations came at once. They were all brought on the 1st of Nisan. So then Lama Amar Shal Shaprakim. Then why did the Mishnah say that at 3 times they were torn the Lishka? Why did they go into the temple chamber and declare that this is for everybody? So the Gemara says, oh, that wasn't because we were waiting for delayed coins. No, the Elas was Pumbila Davar. It was to give publicity to it. And so what do we see? We see that it's important to give publicity to mitzvahs. Mitzvahs should be done with fanfare. And the fanfare here that we're talking about is to show, look, the Rebbeinu Shalom is Maratza. He wants your money that you're bringing to the Beis Mikdash, and he wants you to have a portion in the karbonos that you're bringing. And that's a phenomenal thing to keep in mind. And that's the publicity here. I just wanted to read through what those things were. Right, so Ula says that it's Prasa Pesach during Pesach time, Atzeres, and Chag. So it was a Shalosh Regalim when everybody was there. So that's the Pumbi when everybody was there. Okay, second Ha'ara and final Ha'ara for today is this exact Gemara, which is the most famous one. Amar Rabbi Babar Acha, Einat Yachol Lamod al Ofi Shel Umazos. So you can't comprehend the contradictory behavior of this nation, the Jews. Nitvam le'egel v'nosin. They're solicited to donate gold and money for the Egel, and they give it passionately. Mitzvah the Mishkan Menosim, but for the Mishkan they give. So which one is it? The teretz is that it's really both, meaning they come from a place of passion. So when they believe in something, they passionately do it. It might be wrong, but it's passionate. And that's an important thing. There was someone that Rousseau Salanter was in a big machlokes L'Shem Shemaim with, and this person held that Rousseau Salanter was wrong in his polemics of Musar. And this is a very, very famous machlokes. And on his deathbed, this man was asked if he wants a Rousseau Salanter to visit him because Rousseau wanted to visit him, and the man said he adamantly refused. So they asked him, "What's pshat? He's coming to make peace." So he said, "I'm not fighting with him." So he said, "Okay, so you're passing away. Let Rousseau Salanter come say goodbye to you." And he said, "What do you mean? This is my last opportunity for Laman HaEmes to say no, that I won't stand for this." And when this man died, he had never made up with Rousseau Salanter. They never met again. Rousseau Salanter said about him that he was very passionate for truth. In parentheses, everybody understood that he meant that he's wrong, but at the end of the day, he appreciated it. Rousseau Salanter was very, very mocked on truth. His epitaph on his kever says something so beautiful, which is basically, it says that Emes should cry, for with the death of Rousseau Salanter, it has also died. And that's a phenomenal thing. I mean, to put that on somebody's grave, it's a phenomenal thing. Anybody could, that's a tremendous thing to put on somebody's kever. Okay, so I want to just talk about this. So where Chia Barba said earlier, Achein hishkimo hishchisu, that he says many times things happen in the morning that people get up early, so they're impassioned about something. We find that by Avraham that it says that he got a Vashkim Avram Baboker, and he himself saddled the donkey. And Rashi says Sha'avim Kalkalas Ashura, and what's it called? And also we find Lahavdil by Bilam, who was his counterpart, his opposite Tamid Shabilam, that he also got up early in the morning and he was also Shas. Sinna Mekakal Shura. Agav is a very famous Tosis in Yavamas, I believe. It says which one's stronger, the Avar or Sinna. He says Sinna is stronger, which is crazy, but people get so spiteful, passionately spiteful, that dangerous things. So anyway, so that's what's being said over here. And then Rav Yossi Bar Chanina says also Vasisa Kapor Zav Tar, you should make gold. Yavo Zav Shel Kapor Chaper El Zav Shel Egel. So there's a kapara. It's one passion for the other passion. And again, the Gemara brings many other examples as well. Rabbi Yehuda ben Pazi says, "Hey Nikna V'Nivas, you can't read these verses without being seized with awe." Latova, when it comes to good, it says Kol Nadiv Leiv, they all gave. L'Rav, a sparkle Kol there was passion. Latova, Vayetze Moshe Sa'am, and he brought them from the camp to lead them to Har Sinai. And L'Rav, a Tikrav Alai Kulchem, they approached me, which means that no one had to even bring them there, which is also tremendously wild to think about that. Anyway, so I just wanted to share one more thought on that, which is this passion that we also see that Klal Yisrael are Amche Oref, but yet they could have a stubbornness that could be a negative. So all of our mitos could be good or bad. And the Tzurva Me'arbanan, the Gemara in Tainus Tav Daled and Aleph says in Bavli, Tzurva Me'arbanan Deratach, or Raitzu Deratach, that you could have a young, fiery Talmud Chacham. So again, it has to be channeled the proper thing. And finally, the Rav Itzel Volozhin in his Akdama to Nefesh HaChaim. So I'm not going to quote the most famous thing he says about his father, not to be selfish and to be thoughtful about others, which is beautiful. But he says something else as well, which is that he says that my father, Rav Chaim Volozhin, knew how to be Mavatal Olam Hazeh. He knew that it didn't mean anything. But also he knew how to be Misragish when it came to spiritual things. And that's an amazing thing, to have a passion for the Bittul and a passion for life in itself as well. And they say a similar thing about the Gra as well. If you look in the Eitz Chaim at the end of the Sefer Nefesh HaChaim, the Reuben print, Kuf Samach, 160, you'll see something interesting about the Gra and Jump. But anyway, the point is that when a person has passion, so it can be used Latov, it can be used Lara, and we have to make sure that we channel it Latov. Have a great day.